Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is day 4 of our back to school week, and today is going to be a hacks and tips video, and it's going to be focusing on revision, organisation and more. So let's get into it. I've got 8 wrote down on my little bit of paper here, and anything else that pops into my brain I will tell you. So the first one is in relation to revision, and I'd always recommend condensing your revision down. Revision is such a personal thing. How you revise and how you get information into your head is different for each person. For me personally, it took me quite a long time to realise this is how it works for me. But this is how it works for me, so you could always try this and see whether that works for you as well. So I have to condense my revision down. So I will start with PowerPoints of my lectures. I'll start with all the information that I need, and then I'll get that information, chunk it all together, write it up in my own notes, in my own words, and then after I've done that, then I will use all my notes that I've just made, chunk that down even more into less words so that I have to remember more and fill in the blanks. Then keep condensing down, condensing down, condensing down. So I know that if I have a keyword on one of my index cards, I can go, oh, that study was so-and-so, so-and-so, this is what they did, this is what they found, blah, blah, blah. I condense it down as much as possible that you can't remember everything, so don't be hard on yourself if condensing down doesn't work for you. Like I said, revision is so personal, you have to find out which way you best revise. But for me, it's definitely condensing down. I have to go over information again and again and again to get it into my brain. It's like my brain doesn't want it the first couple of times. It takes a good 4, maybe even plus times to get it actually into my brain and understand it as well. The best thing to do is to always write your notes out in your own words, and don't just highlight things and stuff like that, unless that works for you. For me it doesn't work at all, because I just start having fun with the highlighters. I don't actually take in any of the information. So you can always highlight first to get the key things, and then take them key things and write them down on a bit of paper in your own words, and hopefully that might be a way that you can revise. For me, that's what works for me. So in short terms, I'll go for my PowerPoint, any kind of lecture notes, anything that I've learned, then I'll condense that down into A4, and then condense that down into bullet points, then condense that down into index cards, and then just keep these index cards with me and just flick through them all the time and say them out loud, say them to myself so that I know. And talking to other people helps so much as well. This is going to be my second tip, and this is to actually talk to people on your course about things. My first year of university, I didn't really ask many people for help. I just kind of got on with it, and if I didn't understand it, then I taught myself it, or I didn't get it and that was it. I just kind of skipped it. That's not the best way to do it. The best thing to do is to talk, because if it wasn't for talking for my second year, there were certain exams that I know for a fact that I wouldn't have passed, because other people tell me what they understood and me telling them what I understood. We kind of got a common ground on what was right and what was wrong, and we also learned from each other. Because I don't know if you ever noticed, but if you really truly know something, then it'll be very easy for you to explain it to somebody else. If you only vaguely know something, it's really hard to explain that thing to somebody else, because you only vaguely know it in your head yourself. So when you're talking to your friends and explaining things, even if you do only vaguely know them, you're repeating it to yourself and you're really thinking, oh, they did so and so and so and so and blah blah blah. And when you're saying that to your friend's understanding it, and you're also understanding it as well. So don't think of it as time consuming helping your friends out, because it's actually really beneficial for you as well. And if you ever need help, always ask them. That's what friends are for. You're not against one another on your courses, nothing like that. You're all there to help each other out. So I'd really recommend rather making study groups, or meeting up in the library, or just Facebooking each other, or whatever, just some kind of communication, FaceTime, phone calls, meeting up, anything like that, just so that you can get a common ground and a bit of an understanding, but also learn from one another as well. Not only should you ask your friends for help at university, you should also ask your teachers. There's nothing wrong with going to your teacher and saying, look, I really didn't understand this, can you explain it to me again? I've wrote this, I know, can you just briefly read it and make sure that I'm on the right lines? Daft little things like that can boost your grade from a 2-2 to a 2-1, from a 2-3 to a 2-2, from a 2-1 to a first. That little bit might just get you onto the next grade bracket, and it might up your grade completely. And when it comes to obviously third year, which is what I'm going into at uni, I'm doing psychology just in case you didn't know. When it comes to third year, them little tiny bracket changes make such a huge difference. If you've gone from a 2-2 to a 2-1, it's an amazing difference. So asking your teachers for help could really, really benefit you in ways that you probably wouldn't have even thought. So next tip / hack is, if you are such an unorganised person, if you like me for instance, will wake up to the last minute so that you have the perfect amount of time to get ready, but you are slightly rushing because you spent that bit extra in bed that you kind of should have really got up but kind of never, then what I'd recommend to do is the night before, if you're like me and you stay up really late but don't like getting up really early, the night before when you're staying up really late, obviously try to go to bed early anyway. The night before, what I'd recommend for you to do is to put your makeup in a makeup bag of what you're going to be using the next day, and the next day you're not rummaging around trying to find the blusher that you were looking for, or you can't find your foundation or your foundation brush, or everything is in one bag and you know in the morning that you just need to get ready out of this bag, everything's inside it and you don't have to worry about anything else. In addition to that, I'd also recommend leaving clothes out ready as well, and this will kind of blend in with the makeup as well, because I don't know if it's just me, but I like to colour coordinate my makeup to what I'm wearing. So if I'm really casual, I'm not going to have a full face of slap on because it's just going to look daft. But if I'm going quite dressy, or if I'm wearing like a berry toned top, then I'll want to wear a berry toned lipstick. If I'm wearing a pink top, then I'll want to wear pink lipstick. Just so that it all blends nicely together. I'm not the only one that does this, I know for a fact I'm not, but if you leave your clothes out the night before, it means you can also organise your makeup the night before as well. So I'd always recommend leaving your clothes out, whether it's on a chair, like over the back of a chair, whether it's just at the front of your wardrobe so that you know it's there, or even if you hang it outside your wardrobe, just somewhere where it's like, right, I'm wearing that top, then bottoms tomorrow, and that's it. Even get your shoes and your knickers and your socks and your bra ready. If it's going to help you, I mean, socks are an absolute pain to try and find in the morning, a matching pair to go with your black boots, because you just need plain black socks, and all the ones that you've got have like a pink strip on them. Like, it's just such a nightmare, and it's things that stress you out and then make you late for things as well. So I'd always recommend making sure you lay all your clothes out the night before and your makeup as well, and it'll save so much time, and you're not stressing the next day trying on a billion outfits and not having a clue what to wear, because the last thing that you want to do is obviously be late. The next tip is in regards to work. So if you are a student but you also work at a job, whether it's part-time, full-time, weekend work, whatever, I'd always recommend looking to see when your deadlines are and when your exams are, and putting holidays in at work for them times. So for instance, in my second year, we had 3 weeks off for Easter. Then after Easter holidays, when we came back, it was deadline, 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 exam, exam, exam. It was hectic. I had something due in every single week for about 6 weeks straight. So it was like one thing after another. So I knew that in them 3 weeks off university, I needed a break. So I took it ended up being like 3 weeks off work. I took them 3 weeks off work so that I had the chance to have a head start on all of my uni work, which helps so much, because if you've got, it happened to me all the time, my assignments are always due in on a Thursday, especially for first year, always due in on a Thursday, and they'd always have me at work on the Wednesday, straight after uni. So I'd go straight from uni to work, finish work at 5:30, sometimes it'd be 8 o'clock if it was Christmas time, and then my assignment would be due in the next day. And if you've got loads of things to do, there's no way on this earth that you're going to be going to sleep that night, because you have too many things to do to get your assignment obviously submitted in time. And when you're at work as well, you feel like shit. Like, you feel like you stood and you're like, I could be doing my assignment right now. I could have wrote it by now, I could have done it. I know you should plan ahead, but sometimes these things just happen, and sometimes you do have to do things the night before of the exam. The amount of times that I've been up until about 4 the night before, and my exam was due in the next day, and I've been up to like 4 in the morning, is ridiculous. For my first year, I absolutely loved energy drinks. They got me through so much. Second year, I wasn't as bad with it. I wasn't doing any 4 o'clocks kind of things. It was maybe 12. at a push kind of thing. I was a lot more organised for second year, but if you are just getting back into like revising and things, I'd really recommend having time off work when your deadlines are approaching, and make sure you put it in well in advance so that work can't say no to you as well. So the next tip is in regards to saving money, and I will be doing a money saving tips video this week, so it'll be coming up in a few days time, but this is just a little one that I thought I'd just mention, and this is about books. So my cousin Amy is going to be starting university this year, and she put on Facebook about buying books, like the recommended reading books that they put on your reading list, and I said to her, no, don't buy them. If there's ones that they've put, you have to buy this, like you have to, then buy it. But if it's just a recommended one or anything like that, don't buy it. Wait until you actually get to university and then say to the teachers, will we need this book, or can I just use it from the library? All the books that they put on that reading list are in the library, and the reason that they put certain books higher in the reading list, like as a really important book, is that the library know to have a lot of them books in stock. So half the time it's not so you actually buy the book, it's actually so the library has more of it, because then it gets flagged up as a core book, and that means the library have to have so and so amount of copies available. So it doesn't mean you have to buy every book. First year I didn't buy one book at all. I didn't fail anything. I did really well my first year, and I didn't buy a book. Second year I bought 2 books. One of the books will last me for my whole psychology career, because I'll always be using SPSS no matter what job that I go into. And the other one is a positive psychology book, and to be honest with you, I didn't need to buy it. I asked my teacher, she said, oh yeah, I'd really recommend buying it. I bought it, did my assignment, and used loads of different books from the library, and I think I used that book that I bought to get a definition of happiness, and that was it. You don't need to buy the books. I'd wait, get them out of the library and see whether that book is going to be beneficial to you, because you don't want to be spending your money, especially if you're a student and you've moved out. You do not want to be wasting your money on books that you could be using out of the uni library as well. However, if you do buy books, or if you've bought books previously, do not write in them, don't highlight them, don't edit them, don't write on the books at all. Any of the pages, don't write your name on it or anything like that, because then you can sell that book on and you will get a lot more money back. Where if it's got loads of highlights and scribbles and stuff like that, you're less likely to be able to sell it, but not only that, you'll get less money for it as well. So as I mentioned about first year and my energy drinks kind of year, do not leave assignments to last minute. And I mean like starting them the day they're due in, starting them the day before they're due in. Like, no. It's so stressful. The last thing that you want to be doing is doing your assignment last minute, because it's psychologically, physically draining. It's so draining, and you're not going to get a good grade. It's because you're going to make daft mistakes. You're not going to put as much time and effort into it as what you could, because you haven't got any time to put into it, and because you'd be so tired from doing it in such a condensed period of time. You're going to be drained, so you're not going to have as much energy to put into it as well. You're going to make more common mistakes, but not only that, you're not going to understand truly what it is that you're writing about. For my first year of uni, like I've said, I have stayed up until 6 o'clock in the morning doing assignments, and it's not healthy at all. I had a really bad time my first year, and that wasn't in regards to university was rubbish or anything like that. It was just I didn't give myself enough time to do things. My time management skills are ridiculous. You'll know that from my YouTube, because I'll say I'll do something, but I never actually do it in the amount of time that I say that I'm going to do it. It's my time management skills. I'm absolutely appalling at it. But second year I was like, I'm not putting myself through that again. I got really bad, and I was physically and emotionally and psychologically drained from first year. So I was like, no, second year is going to be completely different. And second year I'd start my assignments a good couple of weeks before they're due in. Now for some people that's really last minute, but for me, I was starting my assignments on the Tuesday and they were due in on the Thursday or the Friday. Like I was starting them a few days before they were actually due in, and the amount of content that you need to read and condense down and then put into your own words and make it relate to the question or the case study or whatever, it's really hard to do, and it's really stressful. So second year I started it all a few weeks in advance, just doing dibs and dabs there, so that when I got to the end I wasn't like, oh, Jesus, I've got so much to do. I'd done bits and bobs, but then I had the bulk to do maybe a week and a half before it was due in, so it wasn't as stressful. This year I'm hoping I'm going to be even more in advance with things. And there's some people, for instance, this lovely girl in my course called Priya. Hi, in case you're watching, Priya. I don't think you will be, but just in case. Priya is super organised. Like, envy how organised she actually is. Like, I remember her saying to me that for the January stuff that was due in, we had all our deadlines in January at one point, and she'd done all the assignments by November. For me, I hadn't even started them. I hadn't even thought about them. I thought, in January, miles away, miles away. Where she'd finished them, completed all of them. By then, she's already got a head start on dissertation, and we haven't even gone back to uni yet, so we haven't even started doing our dissertation yet, and she's already got ethics approved, started collecting data for it. So it just shows that some people would think that a few weeks before the deadline is like really late, but some people would think that that's really organised. So just make sure that you manage it, and make sure that your sanity and your mentality is in a good place, because first year was not my best year physically, emotionally, mentally, psychologically. You can name it, and I was drained in every single section you could think of. So yeah, make sure that you give it enough time, and also obviously, like I've said, ask as many questions as you want. If you've got any questions on my course or my university stuff, anything like that, how I revise, anything like that, leave it down below, and if there's enough questions, I'll actually do like a university question and answer video. So the more questions that you leave, the more likely I will actually do that for you. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sorry if it's a long one. I just wanted to give you as much advice as possible and give you a little bit of kind of like my story and how I've learned from my first 2 years at university. So I'm now going into my 3rd year, and hopefully this year I'll be a bit more organised, and hopefully you can be a bit more organised with my help as well. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to come back tomorrow for our next back to school video, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys. Bye.